So the first action today is new members. There it is. We have a new member to vote in. Robert Kerr, Kilo Alpha 9, Mike Delta Papa. He has an advanced class license. Sponsors myself, K6KM, Gary, and A60, and Dean, and 60E. QTH is Sutter Creek, California. He has an Elecraft K3S, an Icon IC7300, an Elecraft KX3. He has fun dipoles, off-center fed dipoles, and fed dipoles, body hex, and various KJ6ER verticals. He does 0.02% CW. It's a very accurate guy. Phone 33.85%. Ready 0%, and other, which I don't know what might be, is 66.13%. Yeah. Contest experience, CQP. He has done expeditions and other state QSO parties. That's his primary contest experience, and his favorite contest is CQP. So everybody in favor of admitting? Aye. Everybody in favor on line 2? Yeah.
Aye.
Anybody against?
Aye.
Haven't heard anything. Okay. Well, welcome, Robert, to NCCC. Next one. Okay. So we have 3 new applicants for life membership. The first one is Tom, ND2T, and I put a picture of him, Tom at Scarborough Reef. For those who are new to the club, Scarborough Reef is a DXCC entity. It's in the South China Sea, very close to the Philippines. So these guys went, I think it was 2010 or before 2010, right? Oh, huh? Yeah, before 2007. Since 2010, China is claiming the rock, and the rock might not even be over water anymore. So W6RGG club member and Tom and some other people went there, and they put that scaffolding with 2x4s and an umbrella on top, a vertical sort of chair, and operated there for several days, making lots of QSOs. And that's an entity I need, and probably most of us new to the hobby I also need. So Tom, exactly, and he's still there, and that's the picture. So that made history. So Tom has been a member for a long time, and he's up in age, so he's a new life member. Second one is NI60 Gary. I don't know if you know, but this is actually initiated by a club member, and the board of directors was very supportive. Gary is suffering from Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. He's not in good shape. He's been in the club for a long time. So we took the initiative as a club to inducted him to the life membership. Gary wrote an official letter for him, sent it to his wife, and a certificate. And we're hoping that that's going to bring some good memories to him. And we're very happy to do this to show that, NCCC is more than a contesting club. It's a family, and we take care of each other. So we're hoping he can get better. So that's Gary. And then our Jim, K9YC, also, he made it up in age and time in the club. So he's also our new life member. If you want to be a life member and you're a young person like me, you can pay the $250 and you can become a life member. It's a good investment. Membership goes up with time. Okay, next one. Okay, annual contribution dues collection, I think finished, right? If you still want to pay, you can pay, still open. We made about $2,500 out of our $3,000 goal. We have 3 donors that we want to mention, N6TQS, N6ZFO, and Kilo 6 Papa X-Ray Tango. They all donated money besides the membership. Thank you so much to them. Yes. And we have new volunteers that jumped in. Hank, W6SX is the new jug editor. Thank you, Hank, for stepping in. And Tom here, our Tom in SXT, it's going to help me out as a web developer and get our website up to speed working with Jim. Oh, well, sorry. That's why my parents call me Bob, because I have dyslexia. So that's my problem. Sorry, Tom. Other urgent needs, we need somebody like Tom here. He jumped in today to help us on audio video, but we need more people to help. Gary is wearing lots of hats in the club right now, so this is something he cannot do all the time. W06M helps us a lot, but he works. Don was going to help us today. He got entangled at work. So we need more people to step in and help us with audio video. Otherwise, our members like W6SX that lives so far away and he wants to be involved, he wouldn't be able to. So please help us. Next one. Hey, what happened to the picture? Oh, got distorted. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, by the legs. I came back from WRTC. Oliver was there. I don't think anybody else from this group was there. And we had 14K beers at WRTC. We took a picture. We could get 11. That was the maximum we can get together. So the picture is there. You can see it. It's going to show up in the jog too. And on this picture, we couldn't get Rusty, WAOAT, right? W6AOAT. And yeah, I'm not an SSB. And Oliver was probably having some drink somewhere else, so he wasn't in the picture. And W0YK, that one I got it right, Ed, he wasn't there with us. So we took other pictures. And in October, we'll have a meeting about WRTC so everybody can get a feeling of what we experience over there. Next one. Yes. None was a competitor. We had one referee, Oliver. I think just one, right? Rusty's a judge. And Trey was referee. Yeah, W0YK was referee. Trey was in the judge membership. And yeah, we have some people involved, but not competing this time. Okay. Oh. No, I was trying to fix the picture. Oh, okay. So we just had the NAQP ready last weekend. We had 4 teams. This is my snapshot from last night. I don't think it's changed much from last night. Lake Tahoe was our number 1 team and came up with 406,000 points. I think it's number 3 right now, but it's a pretty decent score. The highest score in 3830 was about 490 something. And then we had some struggles here. NA61, K6KM were the strugglers. Yeah, as usual. Okay, the next is the upcoming contest. This weekend, if you talk to Bob K3EST, he will tell you that is the IOTA contest. RSGB IOTA. It starts at 5 o'clock Pacific time, I think, because it's 12 Zulu. It's probably because it's a European thing. And runs for 24 hours. I'm a little curious, but I don't have the time to do 24 hours. But I might jump in and work for a little bit. I'm curious about working all those islands. And then we have the NAQP Summer CW August 1st and AQP Summer SSB August 15. So those are fun ones, short ones. And start making your plans for our CQP October 3rd. And next meeting is going to be about that. So next one, please. Okay. Next one is going to be August 11th. It's going to be Zoom only for logistical purposes. Dean is going to talk about his CQP preview, who's going to do what and what's going to happen. September 20th, we have the NCCC family picnic, and big thank you to Jim K9YC. He's going to pay again for our food for our barbecue. And October 13th, we have the RTC Experience Roundtable at the Wagon Wheel, which has a big room and we can spread out and had good audio and video. So that's it for that. And for today's presentation, we have Gary, an A60, getting the most from NCCC. I'm going to introduce him, even though everybody knows Gary very well. But he is secretary, a works manager, mentor, pizza ordering guy, chief engineer at N6RO. He's a very good woodworker, metal worker, electronics engineer, contester, and above all, a good friend. So thanks, Roberto.
Roberto, before you go on, I just want to make a quick announcement.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Rich, WN6A, and earlier on, Roberto asked me to sort of organize the summer NAQP, and I just wanted to sort of make a little shout out very quickly to Jeff, W6KI, for flogging the contest. And for the CW contest, Skip is going to be flogging that, K6DGW. And for the SSB on August 15th, Andy, AE6Y, will be flogging that as well. So I want to just thank those folks for doing that. I appreciate it all.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
Sure.
All right. Now it's time for our feature presentation, getting the most out of NCCC. I want to let you know I created this presentation because we have a number of new members who may or may not know how to use this club, if you will. And I've also found out there's a number of capabilities and like means of communication stuff we have in this club that not everybody completely understands or effectively uses. So this presentation will end up being something that's sent out to, well, so that everybody sees it, especially new members, all right? So it's a little bit of a tutorial on how to use NCCC. So we're going to talk about the club itself, who we are, how to communicate and collaborate with us. We'll talk about competition, it's what contesters do, our mentoring program, how we help one another, volunteering, as you know, we're always looking for volunteers, and then finally some items about membership in the club. So, okay, who are we and what do we do? The Northern California Contest Club Incorporated. So we're a specialized ham club. And we are devoted to, say, operating and technical excellence in radio sport, in radio contesting. So we don't pay much attention to repeaters, and there's a lot of other interesting things you do in ham radio, but we are a focused club. We're nationally recognized, known all over the world, a very large competitive club, ARRL affiliated, and we are focused on the Northern California region. As opposed to somebody like PVRC, where they have members sort of all over maybe all over the world, I suppose. But we really do focus on more of a regional kind of activity. And finally, we are a nonprofit. We have just over 300 full voting members, plus another 50 associate members that are outside of what we call our club area. We have numerous Contest Hall of Fame members. There's quite a few. Let's see, any in this room? Not today. A lot of WRTC participants and winners of just countless worldwide contests. It's a very, very long list. And especially we have a very important brain trust. So collectively, this club has a lot of very, very experienced people in all aspects of contesting, radio, engineering, station engineering, whatever it is you want. We probably have somebody who's, well, essentially a world-class expert in one of those areas. So this is the club territory today. It's defined, number one, by a 250-mile radius. That's for ARRL contests and the good old CQ contests, like CQ Worldwide. And we centered it at this little place that's up near Chico. We can actually adjust that a little bit if we want to capture people a little bit farther north or south. All the people in the Pacific, they're welcome to join the club too. Plus, anything in Northern California that's north of the Tehachapi's. So this reaches down south a little bit beyond that circle. Our definition of a full member is someone who lives somewhere in this territory. That's a full member, and they have voting privileges. An associate member doesn't have voting privileges, but they're still members, and they can contribute scores to various contests and things like that. And you must be inside the area to join the club. after which you can be a member forever. You just maybe turn into an associate. And people who are life members, you are either a full member if you're a life member living here, or you're still a life member and you're an associate member. You happen to live outside the area. But life membership means you don't have to pay dues anymore. That's all it means. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the current mission statement. Okay, so what do we do? To pursue operating and technical excellence in radio contesting, radio sport, to help our members develop their operating and technical skills to become better contesters, to win club competitions of major amateur radio contests. We try to get together and organize something on what we typically call focus contests, and finally to mentor the next generation of operators. Club officers today, Roberto, there I am. Our treasurer, KO6M. David might not make it tonight. He had kid duty, unfortunately. He stepped up for treasurer, and we still at the moment do not have a VP contest chair, which is unfortunate because it's a pretty important position in this club, since that's normally the person who would be in charge of setting our focus contests and organizing these major activities where we want someone who's a cheerleader to get everybody stirred up about a particular contest. So we're hoping we may have a candidate, but we'll see. And our directors are Jim, K9YC. We have Chris over here, N6WM, and Ed, AJ6V. It's always good to have a lawyer. Ed's a lawyer, and we're looking at a revision on the bylaws. We're trying to. We always let a lawyer go through and look for little things that need correction. For instance, the 250-mile circle needs to be corrected. It still says 175. It's a technical correction. So you'll probably be seeing an announcement about a change to the bylaws sometime in the future that everyone has to vote on. A brief history, and where's NCCC come from? We're actually founded in 1971, and this information is on the club website. I just kind of stole it off of there. So the initial idea was to have a contest focus club that was separate from Northern California DX Club. So it was Jim Niger and Rick the Locust, K6VVA. It was really the two of them penciling something down on a napkin one evening saying, hey, we ought to start a contest club of our own. And some of the other founders from the plank holders are still with us. There's some of the pictures. Everyone knows Ken, N6RO, and Bob, W6RGG, and there's Rusty, W6OAT. And the club was registered as a nonprofit in 2017. So that's kind of the basic, from whence we came there. Just a few NCCC accomplishments. We've been the sponsor of the California QSO party since all the way back in 1974. We don't exactly own it. It has its own management. And we have, in fact, we have Tom right here, who's the guy who processes the logs, which is quite a data processing task. Pretty impressive. It's a wildly popular QSO party. It's the thing that kicks off the contest season every October. It's the QSO party, excuse me. So within this club, we're also the originator and sponsor of the NS Sprint. That's the weekly competition goes on. We're the only West Coast club to win sweepstakes for an unlimited club. That was done 17 times back in the day. That was pretty much in the 90s, thereabouts, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? It goes way back. 4 straight and 78. That's a great t-shirt. A t-shirt, 4 straight and 78. Yeah. And that was a big effort. Demographics and other clubs have changed, and it's almost insurmountable in today's environment. We're also the only West Coast club to win a CQ Worldwide club competition. And finally, we were the sponsor of WRTC back in 1996. And I have a bucket full of gavels like that. The secretary is the keeper of the awards, and it's a big, heavy tub full of awards. Our slogan, KB, guess what that stands for? So informally, we're all KBers, And if you work a fellow club member on the air, give them a quick KB on phone or send KB after your exchange on CW or RIDI. It's very, very much appreciated. Recognize each other. Even if it's someone operating at some weird call sign, if you happen to know it's them, give them a KB. And always, if you're running assisted, is spot other club members so they get a nice little cluster pile up for a while. So a lot of times I'm doing search and pounce and I see someone, maybe I worked them before. I don't care. I find them, I'm going to spot that guy. Oh, here's another one. Spot that guy. That really helps. And yes, there is a KB beer. It's from Australia. And I was told back in the day it was used like as an award sometimes, right? They made trophies out of those at one time. Yeah, KB. Well, as awards manager, I should be looking into the procurement of KB beer. I'm gonna take that under advisement. Okay, now another subject. Communicating and collaborating. Okay, if you want to work as a club, we need to talk to each other, not just do random uncoordinated things. So how do we do that? Okay, first, who is the official club contact? That would be the secretary. That's me today, secretary.nccc@gmail.com. You can contact me for almost anything, and I'll make sure your inquiry goes to the right people at that time. We have a website, NCCC.cc. That's kind of the contest club. I don't know how many other things are in the .cc domain, but we are. That's our current website. That will be the website forever, as far as I know. We have a monthly newsletter. It's called The Jug. That's posted on our website. People are welcome to contribute to that. We'll have more on that in a later slide. Our online discussions are done on groups.io. If you're not already a member of this, well, I'll show you how to join here in a moment. That's where a great deal of discussion goes on. It's searchable. You can ask almost any question you want there. We now also have Slack and Discord for chatting. We'll talk about that in a minute. If you want to directly contact another member by email or phone, those are listed in the online roster. Now, the roster is in the members only section of the website. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're also on X, otherwise known as Twitter, but nobody uses it. We're on Facebook. Nobody uses that either, but we're there. I mean, if somebody gets real excited, they're welcome to go up there and start, stirring things up. But no, there's nothing going on either one of those. Okay, so first, here's the NCCC website. This is currently our kitchen sink. This is managed by John, K6MM. There's a fair amount of material that's out of date, and Tom here, NS6T, is going to be taking over as webmaster as time goes on and trying to refresh this and, mine the good stuff and maybe just archive, things that are obsolete, but we're working on it. That's what it looks like when you get up there. You're encouraged to visit and explore, see what's there. The members only section, or like if you click on the lower right, there's a roster button, or there's a members only button as well. That requires a top secret login which was sent out to all the members when they joined the club. The roster is maybe the most useful thing on the website because I keep it up to date. It's constantly up to date. You can see if your dues are currently paid, and you can look up people's emails and phone numbers and things like that. See who's a club member. And as I said, the updated version is planned. Okay, so check out the roster. There it is, the roster link. There's two versions of the roster. The online roster is really best. That's a Google Sheet. And sometimes the Google Sheets look a little funny on a mobile device. They actually have an app for that. But on a PC, it looks just fine. And that one is like always up to date. I'm in there not quite every day, making sure things are correct. And then there's also a PDF version of it, and that's only updated sporadically. So the PDF could be a little bit out of date, but it's pretty close. So all the information comes from our Member Planet database, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And it's very important to check that once in a while, make sure you're up to date. In fact, I should put out a notice to get people to update things. And there's a little snapshot of what you might see if you look in the roster. See, so So if your phone number is wrong in the roster, it's because it's wrong in Member Planet. So that's the root cause. Because so there was okay, and if there's incorrect data on you, you have to go back to Member Planet. We'll talk about Member Planet in a minute too. Okay, groups.io. At the moment, this is kind of like the focal point for most of our ordinary day-to-day communications for NCCC. So the first thing is be sure you're signed up. If you're not signed up, contact the secretary. Or if you're not sure, if you have any questions at all about groups.io, give me a shout and we will fix it so that you get connected to this. It's a very important resource. Visit the groups.io website. Now, here's one of the things that happens. Okay, groups.io, when you join this, and I'm a member of like 25 different groups, all my other hobbies and stuff like that. A lot of people do that. This replaced the old Yahoo groups that were pretty popular for a long time. That went down. Groups.io replaced that. So I'm a member of a lot of groups. Well, the first thing happens, you join this, and especially on an organization that's very chatty, what do you get? An email. Every message that's posted, you get another email. And I have a feeling people don't know how to use this. They're getting this email storm and say, oh, I hate this. Unsubscribe, block, that's it. And they'll never hear from us on groups.io again, which is kind of a disaster because that's one of the important ways that we all connect and we, disseminate our information. So what you do, you go to groups.io, to that website, and you log in with your email and your password, and you'll see all the groups there that you're signed up for, and you can set your email preferences, which could be, if you want, it could be no email, or it could be a daily digest. You get one email that summarizes everything. If you click on a link, it will take you to the website, and you can see everything. And I think that I use the website all the time because I'm a member of so many groups. I don't want all those emails. I just go there and it'll flag which ones are new. You can see, oh, there's been activity today or recently. So you can sift through it. So it's really, I found the website pretty useful for just, kind of following general activity. There are two groups actually. Okay, go back. Yeah. There actually are two groups. There's the regular one everyone chats on. There's a second one called NCCC Announce. That's only for club business. Only a couple of board members can post to that. Nominally, the secretary does that. Like that's where I would announce meetings, that kind of thing. Very little traffic on that. You get a few postings when there's a meeting coming up. Please do not block these emails. You want to see those, okay, from NCCC Announce. You definitely want to see those. And again, if you don't want email at all, at least visit the website once in a while and see what's going on. And it's a great place because you can go there, you can search for stuff, you type a question in there and you probably find some conversation and find out who was talking about it. Things to post on groups.io. Some classic things we do. You put up your contest scores with comments, copy of your 3830 posting, any kind of questions and answers for almost any topic. Operators wanted or situations available, right? If you have anything going on at your station, you need a helper. Items for sale or wanted. Any kind of special events that are going on that are relevant to club members, post all that stuff. There's not that much traffic on there. It's not, on a contest weekend, there'll be this barrage of emails. We had, 50 guys are in a contest. There might be 50 postings with people putting up their scores. And then it's pretty quiet generally during the week. What, NCCC Announce? Oh, the regular one. Yeah. What? I don't know. It's NCCC. What's the name of the? No. I mean, I'd have to look on my phone to see exactly what the thing is called. The actual name of the thing is.
You're talking about NCCC-Blue.
Yeah, or no, NCCC.groups.io. Yeah, NCCC.groups.io. That's the main one. All right, you'll see it there, and it says Northern California Contest Club in big letters across there. Okay, next. Okay, then there's Slack. Now, Slack is a little more of a, we'll call it a real-time thing. Okay, Slack requires that you run an app. The application runs on all platforms. You download it and run it. You create a login, and then you sign up for it. Chris, N6WM, is kind of our owner of this thing, the manager, and you ask Chris, hey, send me the link so I can join Slack. And once you're in, there's a little snapshot of what you'd see there. This is a really good way to chat with people. This is a real-time kind of a thing. The groups.io, you could do that, but it's more like a chat via email. So there tends to be these long lags, right? You send something and God knows when the guy's going to answer his email. If someone is on Slack, their name shows up and they actually have, you can see it, and they have a little green dot by him. You think, oh, this guy is actually online. He's actually looking right now. But a lot of people have this set up so they gets their attention. So you can have a nice exchange, kind of in pseudo real time with people. You can talk about any subject. It's organized by what we call channels. There's a long list of channels down on the left there. Like you see one there called All NCCC, which is the whole club. There's one for amplifiers. There's one for antennas. There's one for RFI. There's a whole bunch of these things. If you go there, it kind of focuses the discussion on that topical area. Right. So that's a good way to kind of keep things organized. And the people who are interested in that may respond to you there. So an important thing about Slack, it's especially useful like on a mobile device or even on your desktop, is to set up what are called notifications. So this is distinctly different from, the very passive email. I'll go see if I have any when I get around to it. Notifications, that's on a phone. It's the little badge for, the little icon for an app. It has a number on it. It says, oh, there's something there. I got messages. It can put on the lock screen of your phone, something comes up, and it would actually have a little bit of the conversation, like a sentence from the conversation on Slack pops up. You can have it beep at. It's all programmable, on phones and iPads and things like that. And most computers do the same thing. You can have a little thing appears in the corner of your screen. Oh, somebody just did something on Slack. And it's up to you to configure that, to do it, not to do it, to make noise, not to make noise, whatever it is. And that's what helps make this a pseudo real-time interactive kind of thing, as opposed to, I say, email where, who knows if you got anything. So that's Slack. And we've had a modest amount of activity here. Other groups that use it, N6RO uses it. It's extremely active for the N6RO team. And it's used to coordinate the activities of the multi-op station. We use it for W6SRR. For my, we have several of us that use this station. K6LRG uses it. Again, they have multiple operators. Very useful for coordinating activity even in real time. Like, okay, I'm ready to sign off. Okay, it's your turn to take over. Yeah, I'm here. That kind of thing, like in remote operations. Very, very useful. Okay, next. Discord is something new. Now, how many here have even heard of Discord? Okay, but most of the people here have at least heard of Discord. So Discord is a little bit Slack-like. It's very popular with the younger crowd. So if this club wants to work with younger people, especially starting with teenagers, a lot of the gamers and things like that, the 20-somethings and everything, and guys like Don here, who's not a 20-something, but works with a bunch of them, or at my local club, at the Livermore Club, we do have a lot of people doing it this way, and we have some young people there. And they find it very attractive because it's something they're fluent in, okay? So some interesting stuff that it has. You start with like Slack, where you can have these different channels and things like that, and you can post comments, and same thing. In order to be interactive, you have to have notifications. If you don't have notifications, it's just another dumb app, and you'll get around to looking at it eventually. But if you want to do something interactive, even if it's for a period of time, you turn on notifications, and you can see that there's some chatter going on Discord. Some really interesting things about it. It has regular text channels, just typical texting. It also has voice channels. You can have a voice chat, like you're all on one happy party line. And instant screen sharing. This is pretty cool because, we're used to, Zoom. Wait a minute, I got to set up a meeting. Yeah, I got to set a meeting. You got the link for that? Oh, let me find the link. oh, my Zoom needs to update just a minute. Half an hour goes by and you finally get your Zoom discombobulated. Well, in this thing, you just go down the corner and you click the share button, bam, your screen is shared. Multiple people can share their screens at the same time. And the gamers, they just love this because they're showing, what are you doing? Oh, here, let me show you. Imagine, I get a call every time there's a contest. Matt, WX5X, sure as clockwork, just before the contest, he calls me up. I can't get my RIDI working. There's something wrong with N1MM. So I talk him through. I'm on the phone. I'm trying to imagine what it looks like. Wouldn't it be cool if he could just click here? I'm on Discord. Click, screen shared, just like that. No screwing around. You got TeamViewer? Oh, yeah, but it's broken and I can't log in. Unhelpful. This works. This absolutely works. So, these are useful tools. Now, to sign up for it, for the one for NCCC, ask Roberto. He'll invite you in. And we'll see where this goes. It's available. It's there. A number of us are on there. Just kind of getting it rolling. But I'm just going to kind of say this is a future means of communication, whether you like it or not, and especially for the younger guys. Okay, next. Okay, monthly meetings. Here we are at a monthly meeting. We cover our club business updates, have some kind of presentation. Most of our meetings from the last 5 years are on our YouTube channel. Yes, we actually have a YouTube channel, youtube.com at NCCC-Secretary. About 5 years worth are up there. This one will be up there. Tell us what you'd like to hear about. The thing about meetings, we're always desperate for speakers, and we're always looking for advice and recommendations on people who know what they're talking about. It might be interesting. You have a topic you want to present? We're always looking for topics. You just came back from some big adventure. You just built something happened. Tell us about something that happened. We'd love to hear about it. Do you know a good presenter, somebody somewhere that you want to recommend? We can bring them in by Zoom if we have to. That's fine. A couple of standing meetings, if you will. Annual awards and elections. That's in April. And then in the fall, usually September, we have a family picnic that may be one place or another. We've gotten a lot of feedback says we want more in-person meetings. And of course, we're trying to do it hybrid. We'll do hybrid as long as we have somebody to run Zoom. So thank you, Tom, for stepping up today. We do need more AV operators, people willing to sit the Zoom station during a meeting. We have some equipment and things like that. It takes a laptop. We give you a login for Zoom, things like that. Some meetings will be Zoom only for various reasons. In person, hybrid as we call it now, it's wonderful. It's really nice if people actually show up. You realize that as many people went to England for WRTC as we have here today, if that tells you anything. So we have lots and lots of members who are, in the state, but they're too far away or for various reasons can't make it. But you've asked for live meetings. Please show up if you possibly can. We try to move them around. This is an East Bay meeting. The next live meeting we have will be South Bay. Okay, so we'll bounce it around. We had one to try to that was joint with Motherlode Club way up in Isleton. So some people who are out in the Central Valley or somewhere in the North Bay had a chance to make it over there. So we try to move them around. I'm always looking for venues also. A restaurant that doesn't cost too much, that doesn't have an $800 minimum. That's very common, by the way, and which is the pits when only 20 people show up. So, that's why we're here at Pizza today. Okay, club-oriented competition. So this really is what this club should be about. Okay, we start with things like focus contests. In a given year, that may be CQ, the prefixes, WPX. It could be RIDI Roundup. We've done that in certain years. We also do teams in the North American QSO Party, all modes. That works out pretty well. We do teams in North American Sprint on CW. We are the sponsor of the NCCC Sprints on CW and FT4. There's a lot of activity there. Of course, yeah, there's the SSB one too. It still sort of exists, and the RIDI. I forgot the RIDI Sprint too. Yeah, like Lee here, he's on the RIDI Sprint all the time. Yeah, which is really good. And these sprints are really good practice for the major weekend contests. They're only they're half hour long, You just get in there and you don't have to turn in a log or anything like that. But there's enough people on there to keep it interesting, and make sure your station is functional and that you remember which buttons to push. Of course, we sponsor CQP. We always request post all of your scores, no matter what, to 3830scores.com. It's very useful. Announce your results and your experiences to the world. The comments are actually kind of fun. And usually we take a copy of that and post it to our groups.io as well. That's also very important for one of our awards, is to get everything up on 3830 so the world knows who you are and what you're doing. Also, link your logger to the real-time score reporting system. That's Contest Online Scores. That's where the viewer is. And I guess most of the loggers have a way to connect that. N1MN certainly does. I can't speak for the others. WriteLog, others, they have a way to do that. Okay. DXlog does. Okay. So anyway, it's really neat because if you have a moment during a contest, you can look and see where you are and you can compare yourself to other competitors. It's really fun to watch. We have a number of in-club competitions. This one's called the annual KB competition. We've been doing this for 10 years now. So it's intra-club, runs from March 1st to March 1st each year. And all you have to do is post all your scores to 3830, and we do the rest. There's currently 29 different contests that count. Each one has a multiplier. So the question is, if I post to 3830, I do not have to put them on the groups.io reflector. That's right. That's all you have to do. Just put it on 3830. That's all that matters. Because that way the data is essentially in a database that we can access. Okay, the ones that go on groups.io, that's just for people who just happen to want to see you blabbing about it and that kind of stuff. Do you have to select NCCC as your club? No, it doesn't matter. Even if you're TV Bob operating at K3LR, we will find you. If you show up as an operator, as your call sign, either as a station guy, station owner, an operator, anywhere, any contest, doesn't matter, we will find you. Okay, as long as it's put up on 3830 and your call sign appears somewhere in that entry, we will find you. So we give out plaques and certificates each year. They go only to paid members. That's one of the reasons you want to pay your dues, because you can win a plaque or certificate. All the rules are up there on our website in the awards area. You'll see which contests count for this. And there you get this way cool plaque or a certificate at the end of the year. Okay, next. ARRL 10 meters. We're still doing it. We'll see. This year, maybe. See, this is why we need a VPCC to make a decision. Who knows how good 10 meters is going to be the end of this year? I don't know. But this is another intra-club competition. This will be solar cycle dependent. We may do it for, I don't know, 4 years or something, whatever makes sense. Same kind of a thing. Post your scores 3830, and we give out a plaque to the top single operators and to people who've achieved a new high QSO count. And it really is a pretty darn cool plaque with that the burning sun on it. But we need the burning sun. Without the burning sun, the 10-meter competition is a little bit slow, as you kind of know. Yeah, the big orange burning sun. It's it was a really neat picture when I found that one. Some other awards we provide. Here's another one. This one is kind of underappreciated. So Bob, K3EST, came up with this. You realize the West Coast, the one thing we do well is working in the Pacific, right? Working into Asia, we can really rock that. So he came up with the Champion of Asia Oceania. So this basically sums up the scores from a set of contests, including JIDX, All Asia, a number like that, so that the people who compete in those, you add up your QSO count, and the top scorers win a Starbucks card. So you can see the little certificate up there. each year. There's another one we have called the 5 Meg Award. So this is a grand total of 5 million points summed from any adjudicated contest. This was intended for the small stations, for the little guy with a dipole in the backyard and 100 watts and a wire, whatever it is, kind of struggling along, barely making it. And for someone like Lee, who is doing this on his Drake B line with, now he has a Kenwood. He has upped his game. He has a TS 590 now. But man, he was doing this on a Drake B line with a dipole in trees. So there's a guy who can appreciate this, and there's many in this room who have this as well. Anyway, all you have to do is send in your list to me with a list. Here, I got 5 million points, and you can win a plaque from that. Another one's no. This is a lifetime award, believe it or not. Yeah. Well, see, for a little station to make 5 million points in a year. Well, maybe if they went wild on something like let's see. What was the RITI contest? The one that you end up making 10 million points and stuff. Macrothin RITI. Yeah, you put any time at all into that baby, and it grew like exponentially. You get millions of points, from one contest. But other than that, I mean, seriously, for a guy on a little pistol, I mean. No, a pea shooter station, 5 million points takes a while. It really does. Let's see. Another thing, we have the Work to All California Counties Award. That's a nice certificate. It's got the Golden Gate there. And we also sponsor a few major contest plaques. So if you, especially those of us in Zone 3, kind of West Coasters, we've intentionally sponsored some plaques that are kind of biased in our directions. I mean, as long as we're paying for them, it might as well be our guys in general that win them. So we do that for a few of the major contests as well. Mentoring, otherwise known as Elmering and ham radio. So we have some things to offer here. We're trying to come up with maybe not so much a formalized program, but we're trying to organize this a little better to match up the mentors with the mentees, if you will. So the idea is that a new contester or someone who needs training, if you will, it doesn't matter who you are, you can visit a mentoring station, hang out with an operator, someone who knows what they're doing. Jack in and listen to how they operate. There I am. I'm sitting next to Bob, K3EST, one of the the legends of contesting. He types with one finger. I said, Bob, here, let me be your scribe, okay? So I sit down. We're on a Y cable on our headphones. This is on SSB. I'm a crappy SSB operator, and it was so cool. I'm listening to how Bob does his thing, and the timing and stuff like that, something that doesn't go quite right, I need the prefix, all the little tricks he would do. I'm listening to it. It was quite fascinating. Roberto joined me. I was operating CW, and Roberto, when he was getting started, he jacked in with me. And, you sit there and you say, see, did you see what just happened? And it's just the best way to learn. It was just the coolest thing. So that's the kind of thing I encourage all you skilled operators. If there's a new club member, please reach out to them, invite them, especially if they happen to live in your neighborhood, if they're anywhere in your region. You guys are, like I said, the gods of contesting, and it's up to you, to help all these other guys get up to speed and be more proficient. Maybe it's just a mode they're not good at yet or something like that, whatever it is. Other things, guys, you can join a work crew. This is good for the new guys. See how a station is designed and built. People are putting up antennas. We do a lot of that at RO. Half the Lark Club, the Livermore Club, has been up to N6RO because I invite them up there and put them to work for the day, and they get to see all this cool hardware and watch Hector climb the towers. It's mind-boggling. People have never seen it. They have no idea how that's done. Well, come on up. Bring your gloves, bring your hat, bring something to drink. It's going to be hot, and we'll have a good time up there. And then there's learning materials. We do have some videos, reports, and things like that. on the website, and also up on groups.io. Stuff gets posted there as well. And with the rebuilding of the website, I hope this gets better organized and modernized and things like that. So we become a little more of a resource, especially to the new members. Volunteering. Okay, so obviously we're 100% volunteer organization. Everybody has something to offer. Some of you offered many things in the past. We probably need you to offer some again. We only have so much new blood coming in. Yeah, I know you were, secretary, treasurer, president something years ago. Well, that was 30 years ago. Why don't you, come on up and try it again? It's a different club now. So we have many needs. You have the club officers, the board. We need contest floggers. That's kind of a flash in the pan thing. It just comes up on, for one kind of a 1 week job, 1 or 2 week job. We need Elmers again. We help the young guys. We need technical experts of all kinds, people we can consult with. We need AV operators, someone to sit in the Zoom chair. It's very important. Other things you can volunteer for: write articles for the Jug. Okay, something you did, something you got some new equipment, you fixed something. I don't know, it could be anything. Well, articles for the Jug, that's fun. Give a presentation, come up here, I'll hand you the microphone, and away you go. All you guys have done interesting things, and you've done them lately. We'd like to hear about it. Recommend new members, mentor the new members, and that's the part we tend to fall down on. We just voted a new guy in. Who the heck is he? Anybody know him? I don't know him. Not really. So what's going to happen to him? I don't know. I'll send him a nice welcoming email, and then I'm going to email again, and then Roberto will probably call him on the phone and say, hey, welcome to the club. What do you need? What are you interested in? Can I get you lined up with someone who might be able to work with you on whatever your interest is, that kind of thing? Now you'll make some headway. We acquire a new member. For a couple of years, we were getting new members, and they didn't get so much as an email. They got nothing. Well, that's not good. You can't have people join the club and then just abandon them. So this engagement, this is part of the volunteering. So the fact that we just put a new call sign up there, and we'll have a welcome in the Jug, and you can always look each month, who's a new member? Oh, let me send the guy an email. Oh, he lives a few miles from me. Maybe I'll go visit him. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, that's what it was like when I was a teenager. Okay, so the bottom line is we underperform when members don't contribute in some meaningful way. You always end up with this very small core group of members. We call it a coalition of the willing. Those who are willing to do the work and those that are willing to let them. But we need more who are willing to do the work. Okay, about your membership. Okay, membership maintenance. This is a thing that gets overlooked all the time. So we have a member database. It's called memberplanet.com. You have a login that is your email address and some password. This login was created when you joined ages ago or somewhere, or when Member Planet was set up, because this used to be maintained in a spreadsheet. It was a massive headache. The secretary can help if you have trouble connecting to it. All that's in there is some very basic info for the roster. It's name, address, phone number, call sign, your grid square, and it keeps track of whether your dues have been paid. There's not a bunch of personal information. You don't care about your birthday and things like that. It's just very basic stuff. We use this to manage the dues payments. That's where those notices come out. We use this to send out meeting notices, like doing a menu selection at the restaurant and things like that, and using PayPal to prepay it. We appreciate that a lot. It really makes my job easier. Well, it makes the treasurer's job a lot easier. All this stuff is kind of prepaid online, all automated, all done through Member Planet. I should mention that donations and dues are also generally tax deductible. We just finished our big dues collection right now, so the $27 can be a bit of a write-off. And there's a little screenshot of what you see on Member Planet. And actually, there's a button there called Directory, and that has the roster. And you can look at people's basic info that's on Member Planet. But you can go there, like say you're moving, you're changing your call sign, something like that. You want to correct your phone number. Yeah, hi Rick, fix your phone number. That's where we do it. I can do it for you, but you can do it yourself. If you can't connect, you have some problem, send me an email. I can reset your password or whatever and get you going again on Member Planet. You don't have to visit all the time. I just want to let you know it's there, and we do rely on this because this is where the roster comes from. It's here in this database. Here we go. How to become a member. We have a membership page on the website. We still require 3 nominations. That's something we've kind of been debating about nominations and stuff, but we still require 3 nominations. You get voted in at the next meeting. And if you get voted in, then you have to be sure to watch your email to finish the onboarding process. There's still a few members that are still out in Never Never Land, and I can't get a hold of them for the life of me. I've tried calling them on the phone. I've tried emailing them. I get nothing. They technically sort of joined, but they're in this like stasis. I don't know what to do with them. So don't let this happen to you. Everyone that's here is all, properly connected, but this is part of the onboarding process is, make sure you answer our emails and who's this NCCC-Secretary thing? Block. Well, that's not very helpful. Okay, full memberships are just $27 a year, which is pretty cheap, and a life member is $250. It's half price for family members and for associates, people outside the area. And if you turn 80 years old and you've been a member for 20 years or more, let us know, point it out to us, and you get a freebie, right? So, well, we are dues optional. That is, you aren't going to be kicked out because you didn't pay your dues. And all you have to do is say you decided to go hog wild in the KB competition, and by golly, I'm going to win the plaque for my silver bracket this year, but I haven't paid my dues. Well, just pay your dues sometime during the year, and that's cool, and I'll be happy to issue the plaque. If I see that you are eligible for a plaque or a certificate or something like that, and you haven't paid, I will send you an email, say, hey, dude, you're going to get something if you pay your dues, okay? That's in the bylaws, that's the rules, that's the way it is. But we really appreciate your support. We do have expenses, everything from paying the internet, paying for Member Planet. There's, we sponsor WRTC tents. We help pay for the picnic and things like that. So, we do need a little bit of income each year. And finally, get involved. That's what this is all about. We're nothing without your participation. Come to meetings, get online, join the club competitions, especially things where we're flogging, get in there, sign up for, put in some butt and chair time, make some cues, make some new friends. That's one of the reasons why are we in person here? So we can actually go do an eyeball. Remember that? Yeah, we used to, visit with each other. We're not stuck in COVID years anymore. Get some Elmering when you need it. Get on the air. And above all, please volunteer because we really do need your help in so many areas. And that is the end of the talk today. If someone has questions, I have a mic so that the people online can hear you. If anybody has questions about anything, here you go.
Obligatory new guy question here. What is a contest flogger?
A contest flogger. That's a very good question. So when we have one of these club competitions, I want a bunch of club members to all participate, and our club score as an aggregate goes in, we compete with other clubs. So what that means is we need someone who's flogging the troops and trying to get them stirred up. Come on, I want you to participate. And, making sure that, are you ready? Do you have everything you need? Your station's working? Good. If you have a problem, let me know. We will get you some help. We want to make sure everything's working. And then after the contest, you want to make sure, did you turn in your log? Because if you don't turn in your log, it doesn't count, right? So the flogger is just basically someone to annoy the members until they do what they need to do to enter the club competition. So that's flogging.
Cool. Thank you very much.
See, we actually have a new member. So here's some more from Chris.
That little contest. The term flogger is probably not completely accurate, although it's funny. One of the roles of the flogger is also to choose teams accordingly based on skill level, ability to compete in particular categories and stuff like that. So when we go into an NAQP or something like that, you may have noticed that there was an NCC Lake Tahoe, that's the biggest lake, and those are the biggest guns. And then you'll have another team, Mono Lake, and that's got that kind of stuff. So there's that aspect of the flogging as well.
Yeah, that's definitely the hardest part of the flogger is You need a little bit of experience to know, okay, here's 25 guys just signed up. Who are the hot rods? That kind of thing. So it's kind of interesting.
I've never understood this process. Is the idea you find the biggest of the big guns and you put them all on one team, and then you go to the next level,
Right.
and you get down to the little pistols and you put them on. They're all on one team.
Yeah, that's basically it. Because if you want, NAQP, we've won that many times. CW, SSB, and how do we do that? We find the very, very best operators, and we decide okay, these 4 or 5 guys, they're the ones. They're going to put in the biggest scores, biggest sum. We have a best chance to win. So you get farther down the line, it's not so critical. But you really want to win it, yeah, you better have some mighty big guns up on team number 1 in that case. Maximize the combo score. There's full-time versus part-time as well, because a lot of people part-time, and like if I say, okay, I want to join this contest, I'm going to be part-time, and I can only be on the air for an hour. I will try to make 100 cues. I'll do something like that. So the poor guy, the flogger who's trying to put these teams together, says, oh, okay, so he's going to be in this category, and try to put like with like. Kind of makes sense then.
One more little tidbit to that. So if you look at 3830, you could see there are, let's just take NAQP, for instance, because that's the most common contest that we form teams on. We also do the sprints and stuff like that. But if you look at 3830, you'll see that there are other clubs doing the exact same thing, right? So PBRC is going to put their top team members on their team 1. SMC puts their top team members on team number 1. And then there's also the infamous SWAC, who actually picks top operators from all around the country and put them on their team 1. So the only way we can compete on that level, and we have beat the SWAC team before because we got a lot of good operators here, is to do it in that manner. Now we have additional teams. We don't just stop at the top team, because everybody wants to participate, and we want everybody to participate. And it gives everybody an opportunity to participate in their basic bracket level. And if you look once again at 3830, you'll see SMC has a team 2, team 3, SWAC even has a team 2. So it's a way to participate, but it really wouldn't be helpful to take somebody who maybe wasn't going to produce a top score and put them on a team 1, because it then sucks our ability to compete with our with other clubs.
SWAC, Southwestern
Contesters.
Southwestern Association of Contesters, and PVRC does the same thing, because you see people like, wait, these guys are all over the country. What are they doing? Well, all right.
They'll all be on the SWAC teams.
Okay. I don't know if there's any other questions coming from out in Zoom land.
Yeah, I have a comment, Gary.
Okay, go ahead, Jim.
As usual, great talk from you. But I think we need to put more emphasis on asking for help. When I moved here 20 years ago, I asked for help on the reflector, and the next morning, 2 guys were standing on my lawn, and they drove 50 miles to get here. That's the kind of club that we have been historically, and we need to do that again. I've had 4 or 5 antenna parties at my QTH. I've been on teams at many antenna parties, and that's a great social occasion. It's a lot of hangout time that we can get to know people. So I strongly urge folks to ask for help. Ham radio traditionally is a helping, giving kind of hobby. It's been that way since I was a kid. I got my general ticket and somebody gave me a transmitter. And so please do ask for help, and all of these other things that Gary has talked about. And one reason that those Slack groups, in fact, the reason all of those interest specific Slack groups are there is that it's kind of an ideal place where experts on those topics or guys who are willing to help on those topics kind of keep their eye on it. So that's why they're there. Let's take advantage of that. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. That's a very, very good point. And you won't get help unless you ask for it, right? I think that's true in any endeavor. So, the fact that we have mentors available, that's fine. But they don't know who needs the help, right? So I'm willing to do all kinds of things for people, but they need to ask me first. So that's another thing to instill in our new members, well, in all our members is, you have a problem, put something on Slack, put it on groups.io, whatever it is, and you'll find somebody. Someone will, come to help you out.
Yeah, let me say another thing here specific. One thing I really enjoy doing, and I've done it dozens of times, is to go visit a guy, maybe he's a new ham, new to the area, whatever, and help him figure out what he can do for antennas. What does he have for possible sky hooks? What kind of real estate does he have? What restrictions does he have? What kind of money does he have? And so that's another thing that we can do. And I've driven I've driven fairly far to do that.
Absolutely. So we have enough antenna building horsepower around here that we can cover just about anything. I went over W2 Don here, went over to his house, scoping things out, got him a good deal on an antenna. And like, where should I put this up? Well, we could put it here, we can put it there. There's lots of decisions to be made. We have modeling capability, we do stuff in NEC, we can do HFTA, whatever's necessary for a new station that's going up, help you optimize or maybe just improve what you already have. But yeah, absolutely. We have that kind of capability. Lots of people willing and able to do that. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you. Oh, the call sign of the new member. You have to scroll back to that was in Roberto's presentation. Yeah, we'll find his call.
Okay, he's coming. It's just a second. AA9, Mike Delta Papa. Kilo Alpha 9, Mike Delta Papa. Sure. You gonna give him a call? Or ask for help for antennas?
Well, he's right in the kind of the core of where the Motherload Club hangs
Yes.
out. And I'm gonna see if he wants to be a member of that club as well.
Oh.
Like I'm a member of that one and this one.
I think that's probably where his interest came from, right?
I
He
actually
was in a
think
meeting
it came through. We had a meeting, with Motherload, and I've done presentations for Motherload, of course, and that's another way we get exposure. It's just he could be,
likely,
yeah.
most likely, but you can check.
Just like our local club, Lark, Livermore Amateur Radio Club is very well represented here today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tom, are you a member? 6. How about that? Almost half the room is a member of the Livermore Club. That's one of the reasons I decided to have it here, because look, it's turned into a little powerhouse local club. Not too bad. Chris, a member, 7? Yeah. Ex-member, yeah. Yeah.
It's a center place. Okay, any other comments? Yes.
Couple of things. So about the teams, it's really fun to be on a team because if you're just competing by yourself, you might think, oh, this is hopeless. I'm never going to win. But if you know that you're contributing to a team that's motivating, I mean, for example, in the NA sprint, I'm probably never going to beat Trey, but I know that if I'm contributing to the team, you know, it's helping. So that's one thing. The other thing is just like contesting is unique because like if you're in a bicycle race and one other guy joins the race, it doesn't help you at all, really. But if you're in a contest and somebody else joins the contest, you can work them, you can get points, and they can get points. And there's this sort of critical mass where you have enough participation where everybody has more fun. So this is just an encouragement to get on, even if you're not going to do a serious effort, and help everybody else. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, contest online scoreboard is actually, for me at least, is very helpful. I didn't consider myself a very competitive person, but when I use Gary's station, and Gary sets me up by default on contest online, so I don't have time to go in and get myself out of it when I'm already in the contest. I'm there, but I looked at myself, and I see this guy on top of me for only 10 Qs or something. My juices just, flow up, and I go after him, and I beat him, and then it's the next guy, and then it's the next guy. So actually helps you a lot. And there was one last year when I was going crazy and doing all the contests. I was for a couple of hours neck to neck with AA3B. I don't remember which one it was. I mean, they were looking at it, and I couldn't believe it. And I was going at it, and he was going at it, and it was so. That's something I will never forget. I don't know how many more times it's going to happen. Then it's
And then the sun went down in the East Coast.
huh?
And then the sun went down in the East Coast.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe somebody else was using his call sign.
Right. So I think what would help, and this I think corresponds well with what Roberto is saying, is competition. And by that I mean local competition with the people who plan to do a similar effort. Of course, I won't be able to compete with N6RO and IRU, but if there's somebody out there with a hex beam or some small tri-bander and dipoles, I would like to know about it, and not necessarily even post to 30 contest online score, but just kind of having a sort of knowing that some other people are there. And like an example would be sweepstakes. I before TV Bob was going to Hawaii, I would be competing with him usually, and David here and a couple others. So having people with similar setups in the same category, I think would be helpful, and also kind of announcing the plans before the contest, I think would also help.
Thanks, Dennis.
Can I just
Yes.
add something to that? Thanks. I believe that you can actually create contesting rooms on the contesting online scoreboard. I'll have to look into it, but I distinctly remember a feature being added where you can actually go in and say, these are the 4 people that we want to track. I looked into it when we were kind of trying to do NCCC. I tried to get some NCCC contest online scoreboard stuff going on a number of years ago, and discovered that you could create these rooms where you can maybe you and somebody else, or you and 2 other people could see your progress together.
I think you can filter, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I think Slack or Discord would actually fit really well. Just to banter during contest, even if you're in different categories, I think would be really, really fun.
Yeah.
Right, but not as a club, right?
There are lots of similarities between video game competitions and our competitions, and so I can see that. Okay, anything else from the Zoom audience? Any comments? No? Okay, do I have a motion to dismiss the meeting? Lee, anybody second? Dennis? Okay. It's open over there. Okay, thank you everybody for coming. Thanks so much, everybody in Zoom, and we'll see you next month.